G'day, how yous all going? This is Ian Harris from Australia here, along with Steve later on in the show, and I've been mentioning some people from the previous giveaway I had. They'll be mentioned throughout this video, okay? Now today we're going to do something nice and different. It's another bit of a rickety-rackety jetty. I don't mind the old jetties, but we've got a bit of a different sky with a porthole sun or a moon in there, okay? And this is in acrylic for all you beginners to give a go, and advanced painters, alright? We'll get him onto the easel here. Now on the easel, I've just marked out where I want my horizon line, okay, because I don't want to lose it, because I've gone and made a jetty in perspective with that horizon line, alright? And if I have it too low or too high, for the traceable of the jetty, it'll be out of perspective, and we don't want that, do we? Right, let's get into the colours. Now, we are using acrylic yellow, titanium white, yellow oxide, phthalo blue, primary blue, and dioxine purple. I also used two separate 2-inch brushes, one for putting the paint on and another one for blending. I used my small flathead squared brush for miniature blending. I used my hog bristle fan brush. I used a pointy round brush, two small detailed brushes. Alright, down here I've got my impasto white with retarder. Now for those of you, that's my art with acrylic with impasto, okay? Because my canvas board is plain, dry, there's nothing on there, it's just raw by 42 centimeters and 30 centimeters, or 300 mil by 400 millimeters. Okay, in Australia we go by millimeters, and so that is ready to put on. Alrighty, I'm just putting this paint onto my brush, but before I do that, my canvas board's dry. I'll wet that, and that's acrylic with impasto. I want to get on here. Now I'm going to do this in 2 halves, or can I get away with, it doesn't matter. If you're comfortable in doing it in 2 halves, do it in 2 halves. I'll go all the way for now. Now this is going to allow my other colours to go onto a nice surface ready for blending the way I like to blend, okay? If you have your own way of blending, by all means blend your own way. I'm just used to doing it the way I do it. Alright? Now, we're going to put some blue on. I'm normally using phthalo blue, but this time I'm going to go for primary blue, okay? Okay, down here I've got my primary blue with some retarder, and I've got dioxine purple with retarder, because they're going to be mixed onto the canvas. I've just got my primary blue on my 2-inch brush, and we'll get some, where do we want this here? So we'll just get a normal sky in first, so I'm going to crisscross it in, bring it up right to the edges there, bring it down to my horizon line, which is somewhere there. Okay, doesn't have to be a savage sky, but you can make your sky as savage as you want, alright? Get some more blue, and we're gonna try and get a bit more darker depths here, just so the blue's not so bland. Drag him across. Now there's a lot of horizontal brush marks in this. I want to just blend them out, alright? So I'll grab my brush I use for blending. While I'm doing this, I want it nice and soft looking. I don't want any brush marks in it. Okay, you can use a sponge for this to get different textures in your paint. I'm virtually just stabbing it on like this, okay? And you can see there's brush marks there, and now all of a sudden there isn't, eh? They're gone and disappeared. They buggered right off. Now you're going to need a pouncer for this, and if you don't have a pouncer, you can either make one out of some foam or just use a brush, okay? Alright, I'm going to dampen my pouncer. I've got some more structured titanium white. Let's make sure that's nice and movable, because this is thicker than the impasto white I had for priming up my canvas. Alright, so I'm going to stamp it on. I don't want to twist it just yet, because if I twist it, it's going to bring the blue through. Alright, see there? Now I'm starting from the middle and I'm going to dance it around the outside, because I want this to fade into nothing. You know, absolute nothing. You want it to turn into nothing. You can, if you want, excuse me, I'm just wiping it on my paper towel so I can get that nothing more into nothing, see? Otherwise I've got to have too much of a big amount of paint coming out into the glare. Now I'm going to grab my blending brush. So see here all these dabbing marks? I want to sort of just dance them out softly and easily into that blue, the primary blue. It's a bit softer than phthalo blue. It's still a sexy blue, but it's not quite matured yet. He's still in primary school. He'll get to high school one day where phthalo is and get to ride at the front of the bus. So see what I've done there? Now that has just glared out. Now I want to pounce a really white glare back in the middle of that. And I can see the mark. You might not pick it up on the camera, but I can see where that pouncer first laid eyes on the canvas. So I'll get him there. Now, I don't want to twist it, because if I twist it, I'll bring blue into it. That's okay. I can even come back with a brush and fill in those. But at least it's a full round circle. Now it's important, if you're going to do a painting and you're using a reference picture, you might alter it, whatever, but it's important to study the layers. And I'm doing that in this, because a friend of mine I was talking to, she showed me a painting, and I said, I like that, I might have to paint it, but she wants to paint it, so I thought I'll just paint a bit of it into another painting. So I'm using ideas from other pictures to create a complete different painting. So I've got an idea from that one, so like the one Gail showed me, and I've seen one on a bottom bit of water, I've seen a jetty, so I'm going to incorporate them into one painting. And it's important to study the layers and work out, because this has got some glare, it's going to have some heavy cloud around it, and then I'm going to come back and darken it with some dioxine purple and so on, okay? So it's important to study layers. I have had a lot of questions coming through my private messages asking, and I suppose I can look at them and think, oh well, that's easy, why don't you know that? But for all you beginners, ask these questions, and once you know, it'll stay with you forever, all right? Okay, I want certain areas of this scalloped in dioxine purple, so I'm going to scallop the dioxine purple onto my fan brush, and I'm just getting a little bit of retarder. There's a puddle of retarder there. I don't want it too damn watery wet looking. Alright, so I'm going to paint this in like so. Before I get too far, I'm going to just stop that. I'll feather it in and blend that and just see how we're going, if I've got to add more retarder. Because that dioxine, I want that to be the very dark behinds of my clouds. It's going to have clouds in front of this, so this is another part of the layer I'm talking about. Up here. Drop it down. And we naturally want some coming like that. Fill that corner up with some darker dioxine. And start blending again, okay? Wipe your brush. Alrighty, I'm going to have like a kind of a clouded porthole around this sun, okay? So I've got to create that with my clouds here. So where do we want it? I'm using the picture for this part of the reference and maybe a bit up here. Okay, there's my cloud, and I'm bringing this back into the blue like I normally do a cloud from the top down. This is sort of going back. It's going to bring shadows of that dioxine into it, and we're coming around here. We're not stuffing around, we're just getting right into that. See what I've done there? Put that down like a gentleman, pick up the little lady with a beautiful dress and get her to do some dancing on your canvas. Okay, so stand back, have confidence in what you do, and don't be bloody shy. Just get right into it, because you love painting, and when you love painting, you're going to do something fantastic. Now, we're not going to kill this edge, all right? We're going to leave the edge from about halfway from the edge back. We're going to get into there, all right? So, dancing this into that dioxine purple. Beautiful, slow and easy. Wipe your bloody brush and listen when I tell you to wipe your brush. That way you won't bugger up your painting. And this is going to be done in layers as well. There, I'm slowly merging this into that dioxine purple. All right? Twisting it around, making your own formations. See, I want that nice hard white bit left there, because later on I've got to build another layer over that. Bring that into the dioxine. That dioxine's creating shadows in these clouds. And then get some of this, blend that. I'm going to wash that brush and load it up again with white paint. Alrighty, we're coming around again. So how's the rest of this portal going? It's a bit out here. We've got a bit of paint here dancing into that dioxine there. Coming down. Stop with that one. Pick up your lady and take a dancing again across that sky. Into that dioxine there, okay? Leaving the nice sharp edge there. Oh, see how this dioxine's picking up dark? Be careful of that. See, this is creating all cloud work here. That's why it's important to clean your blending brush, because you can contaminate bits that you don't really want contaminated. Dancing around here. Blend that. I don't want to drag too much dioxine into this blue, okay? We can put a bit of shadow there, because later on I can put a cloud over that. Yeah, get all this dancing back into the sky. Just like that. It's just a different way to do a cloud formation, something different. Alright, this is also the video we did after the giveaway of that painting that Lynn Howard won. So some other people that did enter, their names will get called out as well. So I want to say hello to Rachel Flannery. G'day Rachel Flannery, how are you? Who else is there? Elizabeth Newell. How you going, Elizabeth? Rob Dodd. G'day, Rob. How you going there, Cobber? Lynn Howard, I've mentioned her. She was the first winner. There's going to be another contest, not a contest, like a giveaway, probably every 1 to 2 weeks. It'll allow me time to organise everything for it, because there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to get it happening, okay? Janet Warren. I've got some more names we'll get onto in a minute. I've got to quickly get some more clouds on here first, so as we can... otherwise, my underground bit here, all that retarder is going to dry on me, and I really don't want that to happen. So let me zoom back a bit so you can sort of see the full picture of what's going on here. Wipe that and get these clouds sitting down into that beautiful primary blue sky. Okay, we've got a layer of clouds there, okay? You can see what I've done. It's a layer of clouds. That's why I say this is in layers. And it pays to study a picture. If you're using a reference, look at that picture and work out layers and colours. You can change the colour to the palette you want to use, okay? Now, we I'll get some more white on my brush. And the good thing about me using this white, of course this is all retarded and wet, it picks up its own shadows. Dotty ones here. I'm just trying to create what's in the picture. And then this is going up into the painting, this bit here. So some clouds are this way and some are upside down this way, if you know what I mean. Alright, so I want to get like this up there. Come on, make it happen, that's it. Blend it into that dioxine purple. You know, you can sort of dab prominent pillows of cloud there to blend in. We'll get some here, the finger, and then blend from halfway down into nothing again. And you know the sort of nothing I'm talking about. For all you divorced men out there, it's the sort of nothing you get from your wife when you get divorced. I'm not being sexist, I'm just telling you a bit of something I went through. We're just sort of going to create that sort of, like I do with mist, but it's not mist, it's just creating some more action in the sky, okay? Wipe your brush. Coming up there, into the dioxine, up there. Oh, come on, dance, baby, dance. That's it. Right, just for these finer, distinct clouds that I'm putting here, I'm putting their line in with my fan brush. I've got a smaller brush. I'm really wiping that. I'm blurring this in a way that it's not too blurry, but just something artistically blurry to my eye. Everyone's eye is artistically different, so blur it to the way you would feel it looks good. Wipe it. That's what I'm doing here, because I'll show you what's going to happen next. Get your liner, get the white and have it really thin so you can twist it off your brush. And I'm just sort of putting detail down here. That's that bullshit effect you all know about. Okay. Up here, I'm just looking for those dominant pieces coming off this porthole. Mainly the corners are. Now to finish this porthole off, we're just going to get some highlights and crack in there where all our cracks are, because it's a bit got that spiderweb effect. You can see what's happening here. Grab yourself some detailed brushes and get your dioxine purple. And now we got to keep that white as fluffy on that edge. Can you see what I'm doing? It's important. Take your time. There's no rush for a painting. If you go and kill those detailed lines and edges on there, it kills the detail in your painting, okay? So it's up to you how much detail you want in there. So grab yourself a nice little detailed brush, something you can get in there, all those little nooks and crannies. I want to get that brush now, and I want to blend that into that mist there from the sun. Okay, what? The brush that I'm using here now, you want it dry as possible, okay? Because this dioxine's pretty dark. But that is what I've got to do all around this edge of this porthole, okay? Okay, almost getting there. This sort of painting, it's what I call bullshit realism. I mean, it's not realistic looking art, but it's got that bullshit effect. You can virtually say to someone, yeah, it looks like real, you know? So I've come up with that new design. So all my art, most of my art video tutorials have that bullshit realism effect about it, okay? Now I'll say hello to some more people there. April Wilson, Ian Shedley from Perth, Western Australia in Willerton. He's another YouTuber. Raquel Dizon and Rita Sittig. Alright, I'm going to blow dry this now because I want to mask it up and then we'll do the bottom. Alright, she's all dry as you can see. Now what I'm going to do is grab some masking tape off the dispenser, just like that. Now I've got me horizon lines marked as I've said before because I want this jetty in perspective with the horizon line, alright? Alright, I've just grabbed some of my good quality white paint and I've gone over this blue where I went under the horizon line, right? And I'm going to dry that, ready to apply the white impasto and some more retarder, alright? Getting the white flow paint with retarder in there, and we're going to get the bottom section ready. So give it a bit of water. That'll do. I want the shoreline about here. Alright. Now I want my shoreline roughly here, coming on an angle, right? Just something to change the dimension of the painting, alright? Now I've got my yellow oxide right there, and we've got some more white. Alright, this is beautiful and wet. It's got retarder in it. This yellow oxide I'm putting on has no retarder in it, and I want to, like I said, my shoreline's going to be here somewhere, so I want to bring this from the edge of the painting into roughly where I want that shoreline, okay? This is so much fun to do this because it's easy. Look at that. Alright, so I've got me phthalo blue and that acrylic yellow, and I want to make some turquoise, okay? So grab that, and start mixing till you get that turquoise colour you want. Alright, and you can work it out. It's all needs a bit more yellow, so put some more yellow. I'm just choosing to use phthalo blue. Alright, we've got our nice deep dark turquoise there. I've put retarder in the mix, and I want to start in this corner now. I'll get it on there. Let's just get it on there. Try not to touch that yellow oxide yet. Get it all on there, because you don't want to touch it and bring it back into the greeny. So now I'll just get that into there like that. I'm going to spray that with water. Watch this. Now I'll pull this and sort of come off as I get to that yellow oxide. Well, see what I did? I didn't wipe my brush. Alright, I'm going to grab my blending brush because some of this is going to have to look like it's underwater. Just got some phthalo blue on my brush, and I'll get the depth out there. That's it. Blend that now into that turquoise, greeny sort of colour. Alright, grab your fan brush, get some white, because all that water's still wet, right? And we got a bit of a moon or sun, whatever light source is in the sky. So we're going to get that across the horizon line there. And don't forget, our water's running this way. It's not this way across the canvas. So I'm just sort of putting some light that'll dance across that water this way. Put some shimmery. Oh, that's not shimmery, that's dark. See what? This is how that retarder works. I've got to keep remembering myself. It keeps the paint wet. Okay, I've lost my sound, so I have to narrate this a little bit. I'm using a liner brush just to dance in some white across the shoreline here as a white breaking water. I'm using this little flat brush again to do some blending. I'm going to go up and back into the water there like that, but just very softly tease this edge, keeping that sharp edge to the right hand side, and push all this back into that ocean area, okay, just like that. And it's a matter of repeating this process. Do along a bit more along here, just dance it around, wiggle it, let it make its own shape, don't think too much about it, and do the same again with your little blending brush, scratching it back into the depth of the ocean there like that, alright? It's pretty easy, it's not a hard job, and it's a bit of fun too. Keep going all the way down, stand back and have a look at your work, see if there's anything missing. Now we'll put another line in. We'll do about 3 rows of this white breaking water, and we'll just sort of dance this little blending brush across it to make it blend in there. Get a bit more up here. That's it, all the way up there like that. Try and keep the perspective in uniform with the painting. No one's perfect. And we'll just keep dancing this across there like that. Alright. Get some more on there, get it all tickled in. Now I've got some yellow oxide and the dioxine purple, the colours we've used in the painting, so we're going to use them for the shadow under the whitewash, alright? So I'll just give these a bit of a mix. And I'm using a pointy round brush. It's good for pointy detailing, and we're just going to finely, not muck around too much, very lightly get some shadow underneath this whitewash, because that's what gives it the illusion that it's sitting on the sand and a bit more bullshit realism. You don't want this too thick and blodgy though, and it just stops it look like it's floating on the sand. It sits it down on the sand there, alright? So we'll do this along all these 3 rows of whitewash water here. Like so, just lightly does it. Along here, we'll get some along here as well. Okay, find your little spots and then just tickle it in. I want to get my palette knife and just scrape in some highlights on the very edge of the horizon line here, just to give it a bit more glare like that. Alright, I've roughly penned in my rickety-rackety broken jetty. I've got some paints here. I've got dioxine purple, I've got phthalo blue, and I've got a bit of white, mixed them up, but it's all marbly mixed, it's not fully mixed, alright? Alright, so I'm just going to start with the dioxine purple. I want it to have the dark values in there first, then I can start lightening it up as I go. And I think I'm falling in love with these rickety-rackety jetties here. They just look artistic, I love them. Blend this out into the waves there. So what you can do, you can tell your friends you've discovered some bullshit today. Show them the video. Subscribe to my channel. And this has just sort of put some movement in the water around the jetty. Okay, I'll just finish it off with these ropes coming out of the picture. One there, and probably one wrapped around it, coming all the way across here to something that's not even in the picture, because wherever the person took the photo. Okay, I just want to autograph this, so we'll put it up here somewhere. Okay, I think that's finished. I might do a little bit more detail off camera, alright, but we'll whack a frame on this and see how she looks. Oh, look at that. Alright, that's the end of another good painting show here today. I hope you like that. It's something different, something beginners can take up and learn, alright? Hope you enjoy this. Share my videos, subscribe and like them all, and tell a friend if you don't like none of them. No, actually tell everybody, alright? Goodbye, good luck, and good on you.